Welcome to the Gold Standard Radio Show. I'm Craig Goldenfarb, your host and the founder of GOLDLAW. We've been a personal injury law firm in West Palm Beach for 25 years. This is the show where we spotlight the individuals and organizations making a real impact in our communities. Those who embody excellence, integrity, compassion, and the gold standard in everything they do. Every week we'll sit down with game changers, difference makers, and unsung heroes who are shaping the future of Palm Beach County and beyond. Whether it's through advocacy, innovation, or service, these are the people setting the bar high and showing us what it truly means to lead with purpose. So sit back, get inspired, and let's dive into the stories that define the gold standard.
Hello, everybody. This is Craig Goldenfarb, an attorney with GOLDLAW in West Palm Beach, and we're here on the Gold Standard. My guest today is someone very special to me, Dr. Alessandra Colón, who's a chiropractor with an office in Palm Beach Gardens. So let's just get right down to it. Good morning.
Good morning, Craig. How are you?
I'm wonderful. My voice is a little crackly. I just got finished with a seminar in Orlando where I, as an attorney, was trying to help lawyers learn how to run their law firms like businesses. So I love that topic, but it has caused me, after speaking for 6 hours, to have a little bit of a gravelly voice. So please forgive me.
We're good.
So Dr. Colón, let's get right into it. For those who don't know, could you share your personal journey into chiropractic care? Like, what led you to become one of those most recognized chiropractors on television?
Oh gosh, what led me to chiropractic? Really, it's a bit of a story, but I'll try and make it a little quick for you. I was actually going into med school. That was my dream. I had stage 4 cancer. And as a result of having stage 4 cancer, I thought, gosh, I'm going to be an oncologist. I'm going to go save the world and all those good things. And as I started doing my MCATs and studying, I found myself pivoting in my own life, asking, am I doing it for the right reasons? And as a result of a lot of the chemotherapy I had received, the radiation I had received, I had a lot of complications, gut health issues, mental issues, anxiety, depression. And every time another issue came up, what happened? Someone prescribed me another pill. And by the time I was 18, 2021, I stopped counting the abundant amount of pills and medications I was on. And someone said to me, well, why don't you go see a chiropractor? I said, well, what the heck is that? Who the heck? Are they even real doctors? And sure enough, I said, you know what? I got nothing to lose. So I went and visited a chiropractor in Margate, New Jersey. He was the chiropractor for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll never forget it. What a first experience to have. And as I sat down with him, he was the very first doctor to ask me 5 things: water, exercise, what was I doing with my mental health, how was I eating, stress, all those things. And I thought, wow, and getting regularly adjusted. Wow, and I thought, this is crazy. You're asking me about the most simple things. And before I knew it, about 1 year into getting adjusting, following his healthy habits and lifestyle, I got off every single pill. I was healthier than ever. My gut health issues had almost completely resolved. I was clear-minded. I had clarity. I was running marathons. And I thought, gosh, if I'm going to heal people, I'm going to heal them in the most natural route. I dropped out of med school and became a chiropractor.
Wow, what an amazing story. So you had cancer at age 18, or concluding at age 18?
I didn't have cancer at age 18. I actually had cancer at the age of 14. I had just come back from Saudi Arabia. I lived overseas in Saudi Arabia and developed a cough. I was in middle school, and my cough, kind of night sweats, all these things had proliferated. And everyone kept on telling me nothing was wrong, that it was due to hormonal imbalances. I'm a teenager, put her on birth control, do this. It's regular for a girl her age, her teenage years. And my mom just said, no, this is not normal. This is absolutely not normal. It took us about 6 months and 3 doctors later. My mom pushed and pushed and pushed. She was my health advocate. I'm always going to advise people, have someone on your side. Be a health advocate. If you're not feeling okay, find out the reason why. And because of her, we landed up with the doctors, and the 3rd doctor, and before we knew it, we were in Houston, Texas, getting an MRI, and stage 4 cancer it was.
Wow, that is just tremendous. I think that falls in line with the general feeling of the populace today that regular doctors don't just spend the time with you. And I think, standing on my soapbox as an attorney, I see that's because the health insurance companies don't pay the regular doctors enough per visit, so they're shuffling you in from room to room. And you have to find a special type of doctor or a special kind of doctor to be able to actually care and spend time with you. I see a lot of people moving into the holistic area and then the functional medicine area, but I think chiropractors definitely fall into that category of someone who actually cares. What do you think about that analysis?
I think you couldn't be more spot on. That is like a loaded statement because you're so right about the healthcare system. It has changed. It is 1,000% backwards thinking now. It's a numbers game. And unfortunately, the patient does not get the care they want. The doctor doesn't get to give the care they want. So it goes both ways. And to also bring it a little step further is people are starting to wake up. I think they're starting to realize people are over-medicated. They are not exercising. They're not eating good foods. They're not drinking water. And they're going, well, I just can't keep doing this. So holistic healthcare, chiropractic is really on the rise. And that's not a cute trend on social media or TikTok. That is an actual statement by the Department of Labor. Chiropractic and holistic care is actually be trending about 20% till 2033.
That raises what you said earlier, which is, I mean, that's amazing. That trend is fantastic. That there's a public perception about chiropractic care. So what are still some of the biggest misconceptions about what you do as a chiropractor?
I think in order to understand the misconceptions about chiropractic care, you really have to understand a little bit about the history of chiropractic care. Chiropractic care has been around for a very, very long time, but due to the misconceptions, we're not real doctors, we're not science, we're not practicing. There was an indoctrination that was happening. Okay, and so these doctors would go to lectures back in the 40s and 50s and be told, if you refer to a chiropractor, we're going to take away your medical license. Those aren't real doctors because they're not practicing real doctors. But the reality is, our medical studies and our guidelines are exactly the same, with the exception of two things: pharmaceuticals and a little bit of biochemistry. Aside from that, anatomy, obstetrics, microbiology, everything that we study on a basic level is the same. So that begs the question, right? We went into a massive fight with the Medical Association. And it wasn't until 1992 that the American Medical Association lost the suit in Supreme Court against the Chiropractic Association. So we have never actually been recognized, right, until 1992. That's fairly new if you're really talking about it, right? So now we have a different ballgame. Those people are now what? They're back in the background, and there's an uprising happening, right? They're like going, oh my gosh, like the heck with those old indoctrinations. I need to figure out what's really going on with my health. And this new generation, they want to know. They want to know. And people are going, oh, we want to find out what's going on with us. Let's make sure we take care of our bodies now. Health is 1,000% wealth.
I think that's so true. As a person who's dealt with chiropractic care my entire career, it's been almost 30 years as a lawyer, I deal with people all the time, and we send a lot of our clients to chiropractors, and one of their initial responses is that they don't want to go to someone who's going to crack their neck or back. It sounds kind of scary, to be honest, doctor. And so I'd love you to address that the first thing people think of when we tell our clients, we'd like you to treat with a chiropractor or give it a shot, is, oh my gosh, no, I don't want him to crack my neck or back. So address that and tell me a broader perspective of what chiropractors do other than cracking your neck or back.
That's a great way to, yes, I can't tell you how many people listen. At the end of the day, chiropractic care, it's safe, it's gentle, it's effective. If that wasn't the case, first off, I wouldn't be treating little infant babies to NFL players, right? But how you approach it, it makes all the difference in the world. If I have someone who's coming in fearful of chiropractic care, I don't necessarily adjust them on their first date, okay? You gotta warm them up a little bit. And sometimes that looks like making sure they have a deep understanding, education, and knowledge about what is chiropractic, what is an adjustment, why are we cracking? Oftentimes the fear has come from what? Lack of knowledge. So if you can educate your patient on what the adjustment is, 100% you're going to come out winning. And for those who are still fearful, then you say, hey, listen, let's take a step back, okay? Aside from educating you, there are other things that we can do in this practice to get you feeling better. And it doesn't always have to be an adjustment. There are multiple ways using different tables, spinal decompression, modalities, soft tissue, physical therapy. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So I never push or coerce my patients if I see that they're fearful to get into adjustment. The number one thing is they have to be comfortable. And I make sure that when my patients walk out that door, they're comfortable and they're educated.
So I've been to a chiropractor recently. I'm a former athlete and middle-aged guy, so I have various aches and pains. And I think one of the noted things when I came out of the chiropractor's office was you leave there feeling good, not bad. So why don't you talk to us about what are the things you do that, like ultrasound and electrical stimulation and things like that the typical person might not be aware of, that you actually leave the office feeling good, not bad. What are those types of things, doctor?
I always talk about performing oil changes on my patients, right? They come in and it's a time for them to get an oil change, rejuvenate their bodies. Things like heat stem or modalities that we use to decrease inflammation, restore function, decrease pain. It's really about making sure the patient gets their needs taken care of. Ultrasound is another thing we use to harness an inflammatory state into deep tissue. Shockwave is the newest thing on market. It is just one of my favorite things to remedy, strengthen ligaments, cartilage. People don't realize that pain is not necessary. Pain is your body saying something is wrong. But we have been okay with saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to normalize it. I'm going to take a Tylenol. I'm good. No. If your check engine light comes on your car, what do you do with it?
You check it.
You take it in.
You take it in.
When the check engine light comes on with you, what do you do with it? It's okay. I'll deal with it tomorrow. So these things like ultrasound are definitely ways that we can make sure and ensure the patient is leaving the office feeling better without even, like we said before, having an adjustment, right?
We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back to the gold standard. At GOLDLAW, we live by 6 core values: respect, integrity, innovation, compassion, success, and finally, the gold standard. Because good enough is never enough. These same core values are what drive the incredible leaders we feature as guests right here on the Gold Standard Radio Show. If you need a law firm that stands for excellence, fights for justice, and truly cares about you, give us a call at 561-222-2222. Because at GOLDLAW, we don't just represent cases, we represent people. So remember, choose the twos, choose GOLDLAW.
Accident happened out of the blue, not sure what you're gonna do. Medical bills keep piling high, GOLDLAW's by your side. When insurance tries to run and hide, GOLDLAW will be your guide. After your wreck, when you're feeling the pain, GOLDLAW works to handle your claim. If you slip and fall, don't worry at all. Just remember who to call. Choose the twos. That's 5612222.
Welcome back.
Now we're going to shift a little bit to something fun, which is one of the reasons a lot of people know you, doctor, is that you've been on a TV show. I guess we could call it a chiropractic reality show, unless that's a bad word.
No.
On TLC called Crack Addicts. So tell me about the origination of Crack Addicts and how on earth it was that you got a show on TLC.
Listen, never in a million years I think I was going to be the first chiropractor in the world to pioneer a reality TV show on chiropractic. Nonetheless, call it Crack Addicts. Yes, we can all, throw a little punch at that, but I'm here for it regardless. I'm owning my space. And it was really silly. Like everything else, I realized that social media was a way to reach out to consumers and clients and patients. And so I took a dive into TikTok. And I got on TikTok, and before I knew it, I got an email. And I had done a TikTok video on period cramps and how to alleviate them naturally. And I got an email saying, hey, we'd love to do a TV show with you on TLC. And I thought, okay, delete, spam for sure. I threw the email out, thinking nothing of it. I mean, that doesn't happen on a day-to-day basis. I'm sorry. I opened up my email, and it's like, I don't know, maybe a shopping list or the stores I like to go to. And so that was it. About a month later, I get another email. Hey, Dr. Colón, we haven't heard from you. We'd really like to have this show with you on TLC. And at this point, I go, you know what? Who do I know in town? Is this real? So I start investigating, looking at people on LinkedIn and doing all those things. And sure enough, I go, oh my God, this might be the real deal. So we reached back out, and sure enough, before I knew it, we had spent about a year in process just going through how this would look, how we would, perform the show, what were the questions, what was that the general viewers wanted to see from chiropractic. But it was TLC. TLC is known for being extreme. And that was another concern for me going into it, was these extreme cases. What are we saying about chiropractic? Can I treat? Not everyone who comes in is a chiropractic candidate. Hear me very clear. Not everybody who comes in is a chiropractic candidate. And a good doctor needs to be able to showcase that. So when the show came on, I was a little bit concerned about how this would look. But like anything else, you grab the bull by its horns and you go for it, right? I ended up getting the news of the show. I was 8.5 months pregnant. I'll never forget it. I'm like, okay, we're going to do this. And I get the call from the producers in LA, and they say, hey, we got one more question for you. And at this point, I'm like, what else do they need from me, And they say, are you ready to be the first chiropractor in the world to have a television show? And I just start crying. Hormones, probably too. And I said, sure. When are we filming? And they said, well, we're going to start in January. And I start going, oh my God, the math. I'm like, you do know I'm about to deliver a baby any day now. Yes. And I was like, I'm going to be 6 weeks postpartum. And they're like, well, that's all we can do. I'm like, oh my God. And what do you think I said?
I hope you said yes.
Hell yeah.
And when did it start? What year and what month? January,
so
what year?
This would have been mid-January of 2023, because my son was born in November of 22. End of November 22. Does that make sense? Right? So it's a mathing?
It is. And how many seasons were there? And is it still going on?
It was one season. Unfortunately, we went back and forth. This is a good question, but now I get to say it. Why were there only 3 episodes? There's only 3 episodes at the time. There was a massive strike happening in LA. So funding was really on the down low. Add to that we were still kind of getting out of COVID. There was a lot of fear with COVID. And so I think when it came to Natural Remedy, they were a little bit nervous about putting that on production. So a lot of the medical-based shows ended up getting canceled.
Are you looking to do anything else in the entertainment space?
Absolutely. We're looking to start a YouTube channel. We're going to grow our viewers. We're also looking to probably talk to some other shows, but I can't say who just yet.
That's fantastic. So what was your overall impression of being the first chiropractor in the entire world on TV with a TV show?
The best thing that ever happened to me. It taught me a lot about who I was. And it propelled me into places that I never would have imagined for myself. And I love chiropractic, and to be able to do things like get on a stage and talk about chiropractic, talk about case studies, educate patients, become a speaker, a woman empowered, a teacher. I mean, come on. And build a brand new practice.
That's fantastic. Did you have a different practice before and you worked for somebody else?
Yes, I did.
And when did you start your own practice, doctor?
Gosh, I started my new practice December of 2020. What? 23? Is that right?
So it's only been a couple of years.
Yes.
That's fantastic. And congratulations on your rapid success in this area. I guess the TV helped that, huh?
It really did. It projected me into a place I couldn't. The first episode, I think we got somewhere around 300 calls the first day.
Oh my goodness.
Our office became a call center. I was like, oh my gosh, we are not prepared for this at all.
Oh my gosh. As an attorney myself who advertised on television, that's a pretty good return on investment.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fantastic. So I know there's a doctor-patient privilege, but is there anyone who has allowed you to mention, or at least any area, whether it's sports or entertainment, of someone or some experience you had that was particularly memorable that your TV show allowed you to treat someone that was kind of cool that the listeners might want to know about?
Ooh, kind of cool. I don't know about like a cool person, but cool cases for sure. I don't know. In some way, it was kind of sad because all these people then came. I have a TV show, and now everyone came into my office going, "Oh, well, she's Harry Potter. She's gonna wave a magical wand, and she's gonna make all my aches and pains go away in one visit." So again, it goes back to education and knowledge. So on one end, it was hard because people would come in with these ailments, guys. I mean, paralysis, thinking that I would make them walk. Hey, I got hit by a train. I have a traumatic brain injury and you're going to make me talk again. I mean, no, that was not what was happening. However, I got incredible cases that challenged me as a physician that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So one of those cases is Logan Page. She was born with cerebral palsy. I go around the world talking about her. She has a brain tumor on her cerebellum, which is the little brain. She has suffered from migraine headaches for her entire life due to the result of the pressure that mass is putting on her little brain. Barely walks with she was migraine. She had over 600 units of Botox administered at any given time every quarter to decrease these migraines, and she's been on some form of opioid since she was 17 years old.
Sounds like the TV show allowed you to meet and help some wonderful people. I mean, that's amazing. And how was your result with her?
Ask me the bigger question.
What's the bigger question?
She flew in from Boston.
Yeah.
And spent every single day with me for 30 days.
Wow.
Ask me how she's doing today.
How's she doing today?
She is off of every single medication, has not touched one opioid, has not received one injection of Botox, and her pain level that she would describe as a 10 out of 10, unsufferable chronic pain, is now down to a 2.
That is, boy, talk about the power of chiropractic medicine. That's an amazing story, Doctor. Fantastic. And I guess you credit the TV show with allowing
Absolutely.
her access to you. So if there's there's no better testimonial than a case like that. That must make you feel pretty amazing.
It's pretty cool. I'm excited to help people always.
So thank you for talking about the television show. Let's move back into the topic of chiropractic care. Back speaking about chiropractic care in general, many people live with, chronic pain, and they assume it's normal. So how do you deal with the fact that some people come in with chronic pain and educate the patients on the importance of early intervention with something like chiropractic care?
Chronic pain is a difficult subject for 2 reasons. Because one, a general physician, mind me for saying so, is going to say, here, take more pills, okay, to deal with it. And I feel in doing so, a chronic pain patient is often minimized because chronic pain is subjective. It's how you feel. It's what you're dealing with on a daily basis and how it's like a silent killer, right? Oh, I don't feel like I can be a good mother. I can't play tennis. I'm not a good wife because I'm chronically suffering in silence. No one else can see it. So when I have a chronic pain patient, the number one thing is let's validate you. Let's not minimize your symptoms. Let's validate what you're going through and your suffering, because that is very real, okay, to that person, especially when they're going for years, PTSD, veterans, you can name it all, right? Maybe someone who's post-surgical and still in chronic pain. And now let's educate you on what we can do for your chronic pain. And that starts with setting realistic goals, okay? Not shooting them roses and butterflies, well, I'm going to get you to a 0 out of 10 pain and you're going to go live your life. No. Let's come up with realistic goals. Is it to walk 10 minutes? Is it to be a 2 out of 10 pain? Is it to be going home without a headache? And how can we give you intervention to get to that? And that requires what? An oil change, like we talked about earlier. And that oil change is not once, okay? That oil change is lifetime. If you gave your car an oil change once, it would break down. So why aren't we applying that same logic to our body? If I'm getting regularly adjusted, exercising, drinking water, consistency, why is not the same logic you apply to chronic pain? Why aren't you coming in and getting adjusted every couple weeks, every week, to make sure you're regulating your pain management and taking care of your body, if that means living a better, longer, healthier life?
It sounds like it takes real commitment there on the patient's part and on the doctor's part. That goes both ways when you're dealing with chronic pain. When you think that would be true?
1,000%, but I would argue that those patients that come in and try that remedy and try to come in and be more consistent with their care, when they walk out feeling the way they do, they will come back. Because to them, the ability to be out of that pain for even just 1 second is everything.
It sounds like it's kind of like going to the gym. You just got to do it. You got to commit to it.
Yeah.
But if you see an orthopedic doctor for chronic pain or a pain management doctor, you have an appointment, they give you a recommendation for pills, they spend 4 minutes with you, and then say, I'll see you in 6 weeks. Boy, does that sound like a different approach from the regular medical perspective than someone who's really taking care of you, which is what I hear you saying. Would that be a good analysis?
1000%. And it's that logic that goes, hey, well, once I go to a chiropractor, I always have to go back. Okay, are you going to go to the gym once and get abs? No, everything in life that is good, hopefully, and bad, right, requires consistency and repetition. It's that simple, right? So you keep coming back. Why? So that you can continue getting the results that you want.
That's great. So we talked about chronic pain. I wanted to address one more issue, which is, a lot of people think of chiropractors, they think just your neck or back. But chiropractic care really applies to a lot of areas of health that we may not consider. So what's a common condition other than chronic pain, neck or back, that you believe chiropractic care really serves?
Number one, headaches. Headaches. How many people are suffering from headaches in this world? And I'm not talking about I had a great night on Saturday and I woke up with a headache. I'm talking about headaches. Headaches that could be a result of a disc injury. Headaches that could be a result of a nerve impingement. Headaches that are a result of your structural alignment, right? And pressure on the nervous system that you're not even realizing. Carpal tunnel. Oh my gosh. How many people do I see with carpal tunnel that are like, oh, well, I didn't know. Well, because you had a nerve there was a nerve interference happening that was coming from your neck and you didn't even know it.
That's a great example. Headaches and carpal tunnel. Carpal tunnel, for those who don't know, are impingement upon a nerve in the wrist area, oftentimes caused by, typing or things you do at home or overuse. So these are a couple conditions that Dr. Colón can help you with as well. So, Doctor, as we said, we're splitting this up probably into two different segments. We're going to conclude this segment, and we're going to start again for the second segment. But if someone wants to contact you, Doctor, and come under your care, how would be the easiest way to do that?
Absolutely. You give us a call at 561-928-2225. You can see us on our website, www.misschiropractic.com, or follow me on social media at Miss Chiropractic.
Thank you so much. Craig Goldenfarb here at GOLDLAW with the Gold Standard Show. We're here with Dr. Alessandra Colón for part one of 2 episodes with her because she's got so much important stuff to give us. So thank you so much, listeners, for your time.
That's a wrap on another episode of the Gold Standard Radio Show. A huge thank you to our guests for sharing their incredible journey and for being a true beacon of excellence in our community. At GOLDLAW, we believe that when we lift others up, we all rise together. If you know someone in our community making a difference, someone who lives and breathes the gold standard, we want to hear about them. So please reach out, connect with us on social media, and let's continue celebrating the people who are shaping a brighter, stronger future for all of us in Palm Beach County. Until next time, I'm Craig Goldenfarb. So stay inspired, stay committed, and keep raising the gold standard.